you how honorable I'm not, how much I don't know. I have to first start by thanking Regent, by thanking Bob. You guys were great. You were terrific. You saw something in me that a lot of people didn't see initially, and we ran with it. And because of you, we're real close to taking the Bergen County line, and I really appreciate the effort that you've done. Because I'm not from Jersey originally. I'm really a Brooklyn boy. Former Democrat, I admit it, but in 1980 when I moved to New Jersey, and about that same time that I moved, I was listening to a message. I liked the message. The message was from a former Democrat named Ronald Reagan. And the message was very simple, and it was an innately American-spirited message. When you heard the message, you sort of liked it. He cloaked all his issues and policies around it. It was simple. Less government, low taxes, peace and security through strength, and the encouragement and the protection of individual and economic freedom. Ronald Reagan was consistent with that message throughout his political career. The first time he ever ran, he ran in 1966 in a very blue state, with a very liberal, popular blue governor. Nobody gave Ronald Reagan a chance. As a matter of fact, the Democrats were relishing the thought of running against Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan and the right wingers, Ronald Reagan and the right wing kooks, Ronald Reagan the B movie actor. Well, Ronald Reagan took that American-spirited, principled message to the people. Ronald Reagan won. Ronald Reagan took that same message in 1976 to the American people and almost unsat the sitting president. 1980, same message, and the rest is history. My friends, I don't buy into the pessimism that New Jersey is a blue state and that Republicans can't win. We can win, but you have to take that principled message, be consistent with it, and you've got to take it to the people. We're running on 4 points in order to take this state back from Frank Lautenberg and the Democrats. We, if we're good at it, have to do 4 things. The first thing that we have to do is we have to give people a reason to vote for you. We've gotten real good the last 2 years at telling how bad the other person is. And they are bad. But people want something to vote for. I'm offering a promise and vision. I'm offering you purpose and direction. A series of messages that tell you where we are, where we want to go, and how we want to get there. Whether we talk about lowering taxes to stimulate the economy, whether we talk about sealing our borders now, whether we're talking about ridding ourselves of energy dependency on foreign oil because it's choking our economy and it's literally and figuratively killing us. We have a series of messages called the Promise and Vision, which if you go to my website, Jersey Joe 08, it's detailed. First thing you do is tell them where you want to go and how you want to take it. Now, second thing you do is you tell them how bad Frank Lautenberg and the Democrats are. And believe me, there's plenty to tell how bad Frank and the rest of that crew is. They've overtaxed, overborrowed, and overspent, not only in the state, but at the national level. I use one example because it sort of highlights how bad the Democrats have gotten in this state. They took an issue, and we're all sensitive to this issue because we only live a few miles from 9/11, from the epicenter. They took an issue like Homeland Security, an issue that should have unified us. Instead of making that issue unified us, they used that issue just as another issue to take money from the tax base for their own partisan politic goods. They didn't say a word when Golan Sapel was put as Homeland Security czar. Frank was silent. They didn't say a word when garbage trucks were purchased with Homeland Security dollars. Frank was silent. Didn't say a word when 94% of that Homeland Security dollars went strictly based on party, not on need. And Frank was silent. Well, Frank wasn't silent when he was complaining that we're not getting our fair share from Washington. Well, Washington takes a look at us and we have no credibility. They said, well, you have enough money that you're crying out loud buying garbage trucks, air-conditioned garbage trucks for Newark. So obviously you have more money than you need for Homeland Security. So we used that issue because if they did that with 94% of Homeland Security dollars, such a sensitive, nonpartisan issue, I have no doubt at all, in the state and in Washington, where the rest of that money goes. It goes strictly based on politics, not based on need. So, tell them who you are, where you want to go, tell them how bad the other person is. In this state, we have to attract disenfranchised Democrats, disillusioned independents, and how do you do them? You remind them that this ain't their father's Democrat Party. That party changed a long time ago. That party took a sharp left-hand turn in the 1960s and never looked back. Don't tell Joe Panaccio told you, tell Joe Lieberman told you. When Joe Lieberman ran for the U.S. Senate a few years ago, they asked him, Joe, you're a Democrat, you ran for vice president, why are you running as an independent? He said, and I'm pretty much quoting, I choose to run because I did not want the party that inspired me in 1960, the party of John Kennedy, to be continually hijacked by an element that is so far out of the American mainstream. It's like Joe Panaccio, that's Joe Lieberman. That resonates, will resonate with New Jersey voters. By the way, Joe Lieberman supporting a Republican for president. And finally, my friends, the fourth thing that we have to do is we have to give people hope. We have to inspire, and we have to challenge. And I want to start challenging tonight with this group of people. My friends, I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick and tired of being told of what we can and can't do and why we can't do it. Don't tell me New Jersey is a blue state and that a Republican can't win the state. Don't tell me that we have to overborrow, overtax, and overspend ourselves into prosperity. Don't tell me that we can't close the borders because it's politically incorrect, or worse, because it's good for the economy because we get cheap labor. And don't you dare tell me, after we put a man on the moon, after we've transplanted a human heart, don't tell me that we cannot find an alternative source of energy to rid ourselves of the dependency on foreign oil. The task is daunting. The challenges are daunting. But no less so back in 1980 when we had Jimmy the Great Malaise Carter. Nothing was going right. We had a country that had double-digit inflation, double-digit unemployment. We were literally and figuratively being held hostage. Jimmy Carter said, forget it, guys. There's nothing we can do. America's better days have passed us. Put on a cardigan sweater, lower the thermostat, learn to live with less. Ronald Reagan came along and said, Jimmy, step aside. If you can't do it, let a Republican with a principled message based on less government, low taxes, peace and security through strength, and the encouragement and protection of individual economic freedoms. My friend, Ronald Reagan gave us a robust economy. Ronald Reagan cut our taxes. Ronald Reagan almost single-handedly destroyed communism without firing a shot. But more importantly, Ronald Reagan restored pride and dignity back to the American people. My friends, I need your help. The reality is that our opponent, my opponent, the lead opponent, is on a political respirator. We can take the respirator and unplug it. Or if we don't get ourselves out to vote and our friends on Thursday night in Bergen County, we can take her off the respirator, give her a second life. If you like the message, if you like the messenger, if you think that we can lead us into the 21st century with that Republican principled message, if you think, and you know like I do, that we can win in a blue state, I need your help. Not only yourselves, but make the commitment that call up your friend and your neighbor that's also a committee person and bring them with you to vote on Thursday night. I can't do it alone. Once again, thank you all for coming here. Thank Bob and thank Ricky. God bless you all. And God bless